So let's take a step back from the individual stories of the week to look at the bigger picture on how AI algorithms and new technology are shaping the way we're creating, performing, and even experiencing art across music, filmmaking, and the visual arts. This week we saw AI resurrecting iconic voices, writing songs, remixing tracks, generating entire films, and even producing art that lives online and in galleries. So the trend is clear. The creative industries aren't just experimenting with AI, they're being rewritten by it in real time. So in this episode, we'll pull together the key narratives from music, film, and visual arts, tease them out across all three of the arts, and share practical advice for the creators navigating their ecosystem. So let's first talk about legacy meeting algorithm and the resurrection of art. So in music, we saw Whitney Houston's voice digitally resurrected for a live symphonic tour. In visual art, AI has been reinterpreting lots of archived works to create new exhibitions. And in film, studios are exploring AI-generated performances and de-aging in ways that were once either expensive or impossible or a little bit too sloppy. So what's the pattern here? Legacy is becoming data. Your performances, your recordings, films, even your sketches are now basically a material for AI manipulation. And it doesn't have to be looked at in a negative way, just in AI manipulation. Really, everything you put out content-wise is expanding your world scope on what you are as a creator, showing more people who you are, the ins and outs. So content is a good thing if that's what you enjoy making, if you're looking at it authentically and trying to show people who you are. So what are the takeaways for creators from that? Protect your digital rights and be aware of what can be trained on your work. Think strategically about how your legacy could be reimagined. Are you okay with collaboration after the fact? Is there anything you can start to think about for the future on the kind of breadcrumbs you leave? Use this as an opportunity. AI can reintroduce you to older works and introduce your older works to new audiences. So I think those are some of the things you can take from there. The second idea is AI as a collaborator, not just the tool. So across all three industries, AI is moving beyond just the assistance and into the collaboration front. In music, tools like Adapt are letting you remix and extend or reshape your tracks. Whereas in film, AI editing assistants are suggesting cuts, transitions, or even generating entire sequences. And in visual art, generative AI can complete sketches, reimagine compositions, or create variations instantly. And even in live gaming, where you're playing, you now have assistants helping you play that game. So the shared insight is that AI can accelerate creativity, but it also raises questions of authorship. And if AI is helping shape the final product, who really owns it? And legally, we don't know that answer. Ethically or personally or artistically, we're probably going to grapple with that for a long time because there won't be a judge ruling on that. At what point does collaboration with AI start to feel like co-authorship rather than just a productivity hack? Where did you guys feel like you crossed the line? Do you feel like you've crossed that line? Or do you not want to cross that line? So on that front, I'd say the advice is that you should experiment boldly, but make sure to document your process. Meaning, if you have a sketch idea that you throw in and then you have it prototype you a more full idea, make sure you have that sketch. Make sure you send it to yourself in an email to show, no, I drew this idea. Send yourself an email with all the storylines you wrote that helped craft that character finally. Make sure you have it all noted. So it doesn't just come to the end when you've created something beautiful, people love it, and they say, oh, that's just AI slop. The courts have ruled you've stolen it. You have nothing to show. Next thing is you want to decide up front how you want to share that credit or monetize AI-assisted creations. You're going to have to start to think about those things because they will be coming forward, whether we like it or not. New rulings will change how we do everything. And you should think of AI as a rehearsal partner that never tires, but you're still in control of the vision. Obviously, how much or how little is going to be up for debate. So the next trend that we should talk about here is speed versus depth and the AI explosion related to it. So this week's stats are staggering. We talked about 1/3 of music being uploaded to Deezer or AI generated. Deezer, again, is like a smaller form Spotify. So it's AI-driven shorts are beginning to appear on YouTube almost daily, and visual AI art platforms are producing thousands of images per day. So The trend is that speed is a competitive edge, obviously, but speed isn't always value. So human creativity, the emotional nuance, lived experience, subtle imperfection is still what audiences are going to connect with. So if anyone can generate hundreds of pieces of anything in an hour, how do you make your work stand out? Is it harder or is it easier now because you view this pile as homogenized and you have something interesting? So I think the advice on that topic and trend is to focus on your story, your voice, your perspective. Things AI can mimic but not originate from lived experience. And again, if it mimics a whole bunch of people, that's just one experience competing with you again, human or not. Yours is still yours. You can still push it or not push it, regardless of 6 billion people, 8 billion people, 10 billion people, and 10 billion AIs. It's still your competition, and yours needs to stand out in its own way. So keep pushing. Next trend is audience trust and ethical choices. So we saw a lot of pushback this week. Seattle musicians were boycotting Spotify over AI content. Film editors, photographers, and visual artists are asking, are AI-generated works of art misattributed? Are they undermining human labor? So the trend is going to be that the audience and creators are beginning to negotiate the trust around AI. AI is going to open doors, but missteps can erode credibility. So that's why I think it's tougher for the existing studios to just sort of sneak it in, because people are watching them. But new creators who are authentic and discussing why they're using it, the benefits, how they couldn't do it without it, that authenticity might let people watch their experimentation with a little bit more openness than they might with studios who have billions of dollars and can afford to pay these people. So it kind of takes the pay portion slightly away for the indie creator and gives them that boost. So, I'd recommend playing in that toolbox. So here's the 50,000 foot view for the week, to recap everything we really talked about. So AI is omnipresent, obviously, from music to film, visual art. It's accelerating production and creating new avenues for exposure. Ownership is evolving. AI is complicating authorship, copyright, moral rights. Creators must differentiate through humanity, story, nuance, lived experience. That's what you need to focus on as any format of creator, just as you always did. Speed versus depth. AI can create and generate volumes of content, but connection is earned through thoughtful creation. And for now, AI can't do all of that portion. Ethics and trust are central. Audiences notice when AI is misused, when it's not authentically disclosed, and creators are setting the tone for responsible adoption. So how do you see AI shaping the rules of the industry in 5 years from now, 10 years from now, or the entirety of the future? I'd be interested to hear what you guys are worried about and how you feel these trends will unfold. So to wrap it up, the actionable takeaways for artists that are living within this AI-infused landscape. Number one, experiment intentionally again. Try AI tools for drafts, remixes, creative sparring. Know your limits. Document your authorship. Own your story. You have to have originality. It's your competitive advantage. AI is here to amplify your voice, but it will not replace it. Be transparent with your audience. Build trust by disclosing AI involvement. They like to see it, and I think they'll be more forgiving in small creators, especially if you're honest and you're upfront about why, how far you go, where are non-negotiable areas in your art, why you use it. That stuff is the more important part of this. Remember to blend speed and care. Use AI to accelerate repetitive work, but save your human insight for what matters the most. That's the whole point. And lastly, stay informed across all the mediums, because AI trends in music are going to often mirror the trends in film and the visual arts. Cross-pollination has always inspired innovation throughout the arts. So I really want to hear from you guys how you're using AI this week. What was the most exciting or interesting piece from the entire week? What ethical lines are you drawing in your creative process? I'd love if you commented, shared. I'd love to discuss. I really appreciate you guys tuning in to AI X Trends this week, and we will catch up with you next week.